welcome back to another video. This week's video is going to be all about my acne journey, everything kind of skin related and what I've gone through. And while I talk to you guys about that, I'm going to be doing my weekly skincare pamper night routine. So yeah, I've been taking notes the past few weeks in my phone of just things that I wanted to mention. But first, I just want to start by saying that acne does not define who you are. You're beautiful inside and out, and oh, my light died. And it's only temporary. We're gonna dermaplane my skin. So before we do that, I'm just gonna clean. I use, I don't know, this cheap dermaplane thing from probably honestly Marshall's or something. So I just like to clean that with rubbing alcohol before I get started. I just got out of the shower, so my skin is clean. And I'm gonna start by I'm gonna put this headband on first. That way my hair stays out of my way. And then I'm gonna take some coconut oil and kind of put that all over my face just so that it glides a lot easier. Let's get started. Growing up, I have always been into skincare. I remember sneaking into my mom's bathroom when I was younger and stealing her products and stuff and putting them all over my face and not knowing what they're for. Growing up, when we would spend the night at my grandma's house, I remember we would always say, "You always take so long to get ready," whether it was before bed, we were watching a movie and we're all waiting on her, or in the morning. I remember they lived right across from the mall, and we would be like, "We just want to go to the mall shopping, but you're taking forever to get ready." And she always said, one day you guys will be doing the same routine, basically. And she was not wrong. So I think I definitely get it from my grandma, loving to take care of my skin. My grandma is, I think 75, 76, 76 I think. And it looks like she's had Botox and everything, but she's never had Botox a day in her life. She looks really good, and it's because she takes such good care of her skin. So I've always looked up to her. She always taught me what products to use. And soon enough, there we both were standing in the bathroom taking 30 minutes to get ready for the day or ready for bed. Fast forward, I remember when I first started getting acne. I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I would always get one pimple in the middle of my forehead, right here. Just remember, it was a big bump on my forehead, and then the more you mess around with it, the more it gets inflamed. So I literally looked like I was growing a horn out of my forehead, and it was just so bad. I was really the only one at the time at my school that really had acne, and I mean, you would pick and pick, and then it would scab, and then you'd pick and it'd scab, and it's just an ongoing thing. That's when it all started. And I remember going to my girlfriend's house back when I lived in Michigan, and she had flawless skin, and I would always take pictures of all the skincare she used, and then I would go buy it and use 20 different things on my face at once. It didn't work like that. I was thinking, the more you use, the better. No, that's definitely not how it works. And so it made it worse, and I would just irritate it. After my first period is when I really started breaking out. I was really the only one. My older brother did not get any acne. My cousins didn't have it at the time. I was really the only one, so it made me really self-conscious. Luckily, I wasn't the type of person to try to cover it up, and something changed to where I just didn't pick at it either. And this is end of 8th grade. My acne then started getting really bad, and it's when we first moved to Colorado. I was at a new school, meeting new people, and again, I was one of very, very few people that had acne. So yeah, it really affected me. I remember my mom taking me to the dermatologist. I'd be there, I swear, at least twice a month, trying new things that they would recommend and getting this facial and that and this medication and these products, yet nothing worked. That I'm done microblading or dermaplaning. I always get them confused, dermaplaning. Yeah, now that I'm done doing that, I'm just gonna use toner to clean up all the extra oil and stuff. But so after trying a bajillion things, a full year went by. And I remember I came home from school one day, and my mom sat me down, and she told me that, she went on this medication called Accutane when she was my age. you know, she told me it was harsh, but harsh is like, okay, whatever. Like, if it's gonna clear my acne, then let's do it. She gave me the option, and I'm so grateful because I know that a lot of people's parents did not want them going on it and did not let them. We're gonna use this Drunk Elephant Baby Facial Mask. I've been using this for like 2 years now, and I love it. It stings a little bit for the first few minutes, but once it settles down, it feels real good. Okay, so I had my first dermatologist appointment for Accutane at the end of November 2017. Going into that appointment, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just going to be, you know, like all my other appointments, like quick in and out, like they give me a new thing and whatever. No, they had to draw blood. They had to check to see if my body could handle, like, you know, the severity of this medication. And it was a whole thing. So it was quite a long appointment, and I remember having to sign a bunch of papers, and then they taught me about the I Pledge, where before every appointment I have to go on and, you know, take this quiz to make sure that I'm using the right contraceptives or whatever they're called. The list goes on. Like, it was a really serious thing. I started my first dose at the beginning of January. My skin, I remember it definitely got worse before it got better. I was watching all the videos of all these other people and their Accutane journey and the products they recommended, and, you know, their skin throughout the whole journey and just everything. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna get worse. And sure enough, it did. It got so bad to the point where my whole forehead was covered in pimples, and it was luckily only really my forehead. I mean, I would definitely get a few around here and a few like around my upper lip, but it was never my cheeks. I remember my eczema. I don't even have eczema, but Accutane definitely triggered my body to have it. I remember my hands were so dry. They were cracking and bleeding. Every night I would have to sleep with Aquaphor on my hands, and then I wore rubber gloves to bed every night. I could not get my nails done. I used to go to the salon every few weeks to get like my gel manicures, and I couldn't do that because just the blue light putting my hands in would burn, and the acetone would burn, and they were never gentle enough with my hands, so it would just kill. So I couldn't do that. My lips were so dry. Aquaphor 24/7. It was just a lot. The body aches and joint aches. Oh my gosh, it feels like you just got hit by a bus every single day. It's so bad. My hair was super brittle. It was so dry. It thinned out. Will say I forgot about this actually. I did have some acne on my back too. And Accutane took that away as well. I just remembered. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I definitely had some acne, and it took it all away. Still to this day, I used to actually get tan before Accutane, and now I just get fried. No matter how much sunscreen I put on, my face gets swollen and burnt every single time I'm in the sun, and my body gets burnt. I had really severe burning on my nose. I wish I had pictures still. But yeah, blisters all over my face, even with like 50 SPF on. It would still get so bad. So this was all after Accutane too. I wouldn't even attempt going in the sun. Like, I always had a hat on 24/7, always had to have sunscreen on, and I still am very cautious about it. One thing that it also did was completely ruin my gut. Now, I won't get into that this video, but if anyone's interested, I can make a whole nother video on it. But let's just say I was in and out of the emergency rooms and doctor's appointments. I had a lot of procedures done and everything because my gut was completely messed up from Accutane. For 6 years, we tried to fix it. It was the most horrible thing, and looking back, I would have never gone on Accutane. Even if I'd rather have that acne than what I went through with my gut. It was so bad, but like I said, that's for a different video. So we're gonna move on. Okay, luckily they put me on a higher dosage, try to get it over with sooner. So I started on 60 milligrams, and then it went down to 40, and then it went down to 30, I think. Unless it was the opposite and I worked my way up, that might make more sense. So in whatever order, that's what my treatment plan was. So my treatment was around 5 months long. I started Accutane at the beginning of January. And then at the end of January is when I already started to have the flare-ups. My forehead was completely broken out. It was at its worst. flare-up was a good month in to the treatment, or month and a half, and then I would say it took another month for it to go down. So for like 3 to 4 weeks, it was really at its peak. It was the worst it's ever been, and then it started to calm down. We went on a trip mid-February, and I remember there was no texture. It was all just kind of what looked like scarring, but not like textured scarring. So my forehead still had some scarring, and then, around like hormonal chin and lips and stuff. Since I did have so much like breakouts around here, I did get monthly facials. I talked to my dermatologist, and they tried to get me to come in and do facials with them, but they were so expensive, we couldn't afford to do that. So I went to our family friend, and she actually did my facials. It was just mainly to help with scarring, since I did have so much going on, and I think it helped tremendously. I was left with no scarring after Accutane, and I really think the facials made a huge difference. I did facials once a month. She would just do some hydration and like red light therapy, and she knew I was on Accutane, so she knew what products she could and couldn't use. She was really good, and she helped a lot. So still to this day, she does my facials. I did continue after I was done with Accutane too, to do the facials I would say I moved to like 2 to 3 months, just to, maintain my skin. Fast forward 6 years, my skin started to have some flare-ups. It was weird because it wasn't on my forehead this time, which is where it got really bad last time, but it was around like very hormonal. So around like my cheeks, and like I said earlier, I never used to get on my cheeks, but it was on my cheeks, it was on my chin. I think it was just all hormonal, but it made me so nervous because I didn't want my skin to get back to where it was prior to Accutane. Now I will say my mom had to go on Accutane twice. So once in high school and then once in college. So that's what also made me nervous, because my uncle, her brother, also had to do it 3 times. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go back on it. But because of what it did to my gut, I was not willing to go back on it. I was willing to do everything else. And if that meant have acne, then that's what it meant. I was not willing to go back on it. So I went to the dermatologist, and I told her, I showed her pictures. I showed her, obviously she could see my skin then. And she told me that she thought it was best to do a second round of Accutane. And I looked at her and I was like, no ma'am, we are not getting back on that. And I explained everything to her, and she's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. She brought it up to me, and she's like, okay, our other option would be spironolactone or spirolactone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to talk to you about it. I did my own research, and she thought that I was a great candidate. Now, she did warn me. There was very minimal side effects, but I will say what I experienced was having to pee way more. Oh my gosh, the first few weeks that I started, before my body got used to it, I would literally have to leave work, because we don't even have a bathroom at my work. We have to walk to a different building, but I remember I'd have to pee literally every 20 to 30 minutes. It was so bad. So you have to stay super hydrated, because obviously, you're peeing a lot. But also breast tenderness, and I still have it. Like, it just feels like you're on your period, like when they get sore when you're on your period. That's how it feels 24/7. But I would say those are the 2 most annoying side effects. Other than that, when I first started it, I also got super lightheaded when I'd stand up super quickly. But that's kind of why I worked my way up to the dosage that I'm at now. So I started off at 50 milligrams, and then I made my way up to 150. Now, my dermatologist did want me to get up to 200, but I noticed after 150 that my skin was doing great, and I told her, and she's like, great, stay at 150, you don't need to go any higher. She also told me that spirolactone was a medication that was safe to stay on, for the rest of your life, as long as you would like, except if you're trying to get pregnant, you're gonna have to stop it. It does make me super nauseous, so I do have to take it at nighttime right before bed. Otherwise, it doesn't stay down. Other than that, I've been loving spirolactone. I just rinsed the face mask off, and now I'm gonna take 3 drops of this Skin Envy from Vitality Extracts and put it in the palm, and just put it all over my neck and face. That was my skin journey kind of from when I first started getting acne to now. Now, I know everyone's skin is so different, and that's kind of the part I struggled with the most is I was always trying to do things that other people did, and my skin was just so sensitive. It came down to stuff as simple as like I can't wash my face in the morning and at night. I can only do it at night. If I wash it in the morning, then I break out. So that's like the last thing I thought of, and I was trying all these other things when really just one little thing as simple as not washing your face in the morning would, be game changer. But that is my story. That is my journey. Also, I'm just gonna add the Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil, and I put that on after I do that face mask. They're paired really well together. So yeah, that is all. And like I said, if you guys are interested in anything regarding my GI issues or what skincare products I used while on Accutane, after, just really anything else, then just leave it in the comments. So yeah, that is all for today's video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!